For more on this, let's bring in former ATF Special Agent in Charge, Bernard Zapor. Bernard, what do you make of this report on the glove that was found? Male DNA, that's all they're saying so far. That really could be anybody.
It could be anybody, and I'm actually surprised that this information has been made public. And I'm also very surprised that the scanning for the Pacemaker telemetry is made public as well. Regardless, the investigators are not standing by for this DNA results. They have to go back and retrace everything they've done. And it's never a matter of waiting. They always have to be leaning forward into the investigation to see if there's any gaps, anything they can follow up on, and anything that newly matches in things that might have been before disconnected seemingly.
It's also kind of a teaching lesson that maybe if you're searching for somebody in the desert, you don't want to discard your rubber gloves afterwards. I mean, if they found a dozen gloves and they think many of them belong to searchers, that's only complicating the investigation.
It certainly just makes it more cumbersome for them. But luckily they found something that was an outlier, and perhaps this is going to be something they need that's going to result in probably expediency in the case. Let's hope for that.
So, you know, that helicopter that's flying with the Bluetooth scanner, you think they should not have released that information, but does it seem like, does it seem like a, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I just don't see any investigative advantage to doing that. And same with the DNA information, because, you know, if somebody's watching and that's involved in this and they're monitoring news, and now they know that this is taking place, that could cause them to flee and leave a place where they're stationary. So if this was never put out, they wouldn't know that that's happening. And so if they did happen to pick up something, telemetry from a medical device, then they have something to act on. And so, you know, it's not investigatively or tactically advantageous to let the adversary, in this case, whoever abducted or is responsible for the harm to Miss Guthrie, to have that information. I just do not see any purpose to it whatsoever.
The helicopter, it seems like a bit of a, you know, stab in the dark to be flying this helicopter over looking for Bluetooth, a Bluetooth transmission from her pacemaker. That's a fairly weak signal, isn't it? This helicopter is going to have to be very low. It's going to have to fly that grid pattern, and you know, who knows whether they're going to be able to pick up anything or not.
I'm confident that the investigative team have spoken to the manufacturer of that device, and they're aware of its capabilities and limitations, so they feel that this is a worthwhile investment of time to do it.
Here's what Morgan Wright had to say. He knows a thing or two about Bluetooth and electronics. Listen to this.
A helicopter creates a lot of interference, sometimes electromagnetic interference, but that's why they're flying low to the ground. So the reason you fly low to the ground is that's low power Bluetooth. But if we know, and I'm sure this is why they're doing it, with that pacemaker, it has a what's called a MAC address, a machine addressable, but that's the unique identifier for it.
So worth trying, I guess, but you just think that they should not have let the information out there.
Yeah, I mean, why give advantage to the adversaries? In this case, you have people that are actively trying to probably evade capture, and more importantly, you have a woman who is taken against her will in unknown health condition, and so they need to do everything to be circumspect about the case for them to have the maximum advantage of recovering her.
You've done an awful lot of investigations. Does it surprise you that we're 3 weeks into this one and no solid leads yet, or so it would appear? I mean, if you thought at first that maybe this was a well-planned, well-organized abduction, that would be one thing. But the guy standing on the porch in that creepy video doesn't exactly seem like a top-tier criminal.
You know, there's a lot of investigative resources put at this, and I think they're making the best progress that they can. And although some parts of it seem simple, it's actually overly pretty complex to go from knowing nothing to getting to the point where they're probably at now. You know, secondly, it's very difficult to speculate when you're on this side of the investigative veil, because we don't know what's really happening and what the investigative team has. So I hear and see, from my opinion, that they're having progress, and we can hold hope that they're fully into this thing for a good outcome.
Yeah, and I don't mean to criticize either. That's not my intention here. But, you know, when the sheriff says, well, it could be this investigation could take a few hours or it could take years, It doesn't exactly, kindle enthusiasm or kindle confidence in people.
I'm sure the investigative team is ignoring all of that type of information or noise, and they're concentrating on the facts at hand and the things that are leading them to give more information that they can act on, because that's what they're really hungry for. They want stuff that's timely, that all of a sudden it bounces off of another piece of information that may have seemed disparate at the time, and then they have something to act on. And so whatever's going on politically in the media or noise or speculation that's happening in the national attention on this, I'm confident the investigative team is hyper-focused on finding her.
All right. Well, let's hope they do. Former ATF Special Agent in Charge, Bernard Zapor. Bernard, thanks for your expertise.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.